Breaking news, Steve Bannon denied his request for the so-called Club Fed when he's forced to report to prison. Sources telling CNN that the longtime Trump ally will not get a cushy prison assignment, but is likely to serve time in a Connecticut prison where he could be placed with violent criminals and sex offenders, a prison that does not have individual cells, but rather an open pod layout for inmates. And CNN is learning tonight that there is also a chance Bannon could be sent to New York City's infamous Rikers Island. Let's go straight to Caitlin Poland. She broke this story. And Caitlin, I mean, this is a significant development, not at all what Bannon was hoping for or frankly seemed to be expecting.
No, not at all, Bannon. No, Aaron, not at all what Steve Bannon was wanting here. He had expected, and his lawyers had expected, that he's nonviolent. He had not had any prior convictions. And so maybe he would go to a prison camp, very minimal security in the federal system. That's not what's happening. He's being told now by the Bureau of Prisons that he will be going to a low security prison. So he's behind the wall is what they call it. It's different than a camp. It has more confines for the inmates that are kept there. Also, violent offenders can be kept in a low security prison like the one Bannon is going to be reporting to in just a couple weeks in Danbury, Connecticut. But Aaron, the reason is because all of this is complicated by a case Steve Bannon is facing in New York, where he's going to trial on this accusation of defrauding donors to a foundation he was on top of. That is not just complicating things with this. It also means that if he's behind bars in the federal prison, whenever that case goes to trial in September, that's when he may have to be in Rikers to attend that trial. Aaron?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Caitlin. I mean, it's such important new reporting. And Caitlin's reporting comes as Bannon is also vowing payback for Trump enemies if Trump wins a second term. Tom Foreman is out front with that.
Are you prepared to fight? Are you prepared to give it all? Are you prepared to leave it all on the battlefield?
In a fiery shout to the MAGA faithful, Steve Bannon, a former advisor to Donald Trump, is demanding prosecution of anyone tied to the former president's wide-ranging legal problems, including current President Joe Biden and his family.
It's a family of feral dogs. We're going to have to fumigate and have an exorcism. You are going to be investigated, prosecuted, and incarcerated, okay? We are not going to stop.
It echoes a call by the Conservative Heritage Foundation for the Justice Department to no longer act as an independent body, but to prosecute whomever a re-elected Donald Trump would choose, which Trump has suggested could include President Biden and many other Democrats.
When this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them.
He's been convicted of 34 felonies, found liable for sexual assault.
That push from Team Trump, however, is slamming up against the toughest campaign ad yet from Biden, and maybe even reinforcing the message for some voters.
This election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself and a president who's fighting for your family.
It's all paving the way for a titanic debate hosted by CNN in less than 2 weeks. There will be no live audience, and mics will be cut when it's the other person's turn to speak, ruling out Trump's inclination to shout down opponents and Biden's sharp comebacks.
Will you shut up, man?
But will that be enough to contain the chaos after months of Trumpers advocating all-out battle?
We can't just sit back and say, oh, I hope everything corrects itself. You have to get in the game, Republicans.
Team Trump insists its campaign is not about revenge. Still, it's hard to miss its fast-growing fury over the rapidly approaching election.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very simple. Victory or death.
Bannon swears that no jail cell can shut him up, but this is something we already know. Even if his side wins, it's very clear that he and other people in Trump world are not interested in a peaceful transfer of power now. Aaron?
Victory or death, something that I would assume is horrific for anybody watching to hear. All right, thank you very much, Tom Foreman.
Sure.